Trojan Philly, what's up, man? USCJ here, man. Listen, we want to give you guys a little bit of an update on how things are going with the coaching staff. And, one of the biggest questions you guys already know is this coaching staff going to hang together? Are they going to stick together? We built a bond, we built chemistry all across this coaching staff and, even with the recruits. And it's big time, man. So that's what we want to talk about, man. We kind of want to deal with that. And I got a couple of news and note items that we kind of want to address as well, as far as this, the top 25. I kind of start talking about it yesterday on my live. But my live went, we had Booby Feaster's dad on there. We had some other things going on. We had multiple callers, which was an incredible live yesterday. And thank you for all the fans who tapped in and who was able to, contribute to that live, man. I mean, one thing I can say about this, I'm grateful for this channel, man. Let me say this too. For all those who are not subscribed, we're going to say this once again. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you hit the share button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Look, this is a unique channel within its own self. Shout out to all those who else do content creators. They have their own uniqueness about them. But one thing we could say about this particular channel, for those who tune in, we got a lot of relationships with parents. So you always going to get that here, and I'm grateful for that. I don't take it for granted. We got the athletes that are connected. We do a lot of interviews there with those guys as well. So that's a uniqueness about this channel. And for all those, like I said, my channel, 200 and some thousand views every 28 days, once a month. I need you guys to subscribe. It's showing over, going on 9,000 subscribers. But look, we want you guys, those who continue to come back, analytics tell me, we want you guys to just come on and just hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, and hit the like button, man. That's all we ask. It's free. And then turn your notification button bell on as well. So, but look, shout out to Booby Feaster Dad for those who've seen it. He came on, man, made a phenomenal statement about some of the things that we've been kind of echoing here on this channel. We feel like this USC team, as far as the 25 class, the 24 class, and the 26 class is all coming together. And I think you're going to see a product on the field. But one of the main things I think for all of us, man, with the whole, I guess, coaching carousel, if you will, was that is USC going to be able to keep this staff together? You guys know we talked about Eric Henderson, with the defensive coordinator job and him being a big contributing factor to this #1 class being here at USC. And of course, Doug Belk and Trayvon Reed, all of those guys were major contributing factors to this, some of the defensive products that we have on the field. Lockhart, you talk about Everett Hill, I can go on and on and on about the guys that we have. And I think it was so important and so vital that, you keep this thing together, even if you brought another guy in like Gary Patterson. Let me get this straight, because I think a lot of people, but one thing I will say, and I think a lot of people, sometimes they misread, and I think they read what they want. And I'm going to say it again just to reiterate, just to make sure I can reaffirm and confirm to you guys. Gary Patterson is a Hall of Fame coach. Trust me, I understand that. Gary Patterson is a defensive mindset that has essentially put his own stamp and approval and put his own style on the 4-2-5 defense. No question about it. He's had success. My primary concern was keeping this thing together, the chemistry, the coaching staff. And so, yeah, we saw one leave already, but I think I saw a sign, I will say that, a sign of some good things today. And it was just this posted up, and I want you guys to see it. It's kind of going to be small. I don't know if you guys can really see this or not, but let me blow it up to where you guys can actually see it a little better right here. And I'm going to put that up, though. But that is Trayvon Reed, Coach Trayvon Reed, with the coaches and, with all the defensive backs, the cornerbacks, the nickel backs. And you can't see it, but it's very small. But what he said was, he put this on his Twitter. He said, look, we broke bread as brothers. Now we move as one. Together we stand, divided we fall. And I love it, because that's just a good signal, and it's signifying that USC can absolutely keep some of these coaches, man. And I think the key coaches, we lost Doug Belk, and he was a big factor, of this as well. But I think Trayvon Reed, just as I stated yesterday, I showed you guys on the recruiting trail that Trayvon Reed was already out there recruiting. And I think that was a great sign to be able to see that. Now, on top of that post, you guys can't see it, but Robert Lockhart, who is Brandon Lockhart's son, father, actually reposted that post that Trayvon Reed posted. And you remember Brandon Lockhart, one of the things I talked about was the chemistry and all that. And he kind of made a comment on my post, and he said that's a big factor. Relationships is a factor. And so when Trayvon Reed posted this today, this is what he said. He actually reposted Trayvon Reed's post, and he says this: relationships definitely matter. But if you're not there to play for the name on the front of the jersey, this isn't the place they need to be. These two bleed cardinal and gold. Absolutely. So, it's extremely important, man. The cardinal and gold aspect of it, and then the relationship aspect of it, all that stuff got to work hand in hand, man. And so, look, I'm excited because, and I want to know, and it's easy for us now to project out. We can start doing, you guys remember, we started doing the defensive upgrade videos. We did all of that stuff way back a couple of years ago, man, because, we can start projecting out what's going to be what, because at the end of the day, the transfer portal is closed. And I will say this, as far as the transfer portal is concerned, there are guys that entered, and I want to clarify this. There are guys that entered their name in the transfer portal. And so I'm just saying hypothetically, if USC decided to go and pursue a guy that's in the transfer portal, he could, just because of the fact that he's already in the portal. Your name just had to be entered in the portal before the portal actually closed. That's how that works. So, yeah, you got some guys that are in there, and then you got some grad transfer guys. I believe that those guys are granted the option and able to hit the transfer portal as well. So I think right now, though, for the most part, we can kind of project out what this roster is going to look like, what this roster is going to be. And so that's a good thing about it. And I don't think that we're going after anybody else. I don't see us pursuing anybody else. And so I think that's a good deal. And so now that moves me, and I want to transition on, because I think when you look at it from a roster standpoint, I think USC is better than what a lot of people think. I don't think they're giving us credit. I'm not even going to say they, because when you look at the top 25 from ESPN, I think they might have us ranked at number 15 or 19 or something like that. I can't remember. No, not ESPN. It might be, it's one of those polls. But this is a poll. I put this up the other day. This is CBS Sports. And I think they kind of recognize what we have right now. Now, you guys remember I put up a post about from Louis Riddick, who's on ESPN. He's a big-time college football, ESPN analyst, and he covers college football, and he covers the NFL. And he said, look, the fact that Jaden Mayava is coming back, he said this USC team, and he said coupled with the 2026 talent, he said that this USC team could be very, very dangerous. And I totally agree with him. I'm not one of those that think that we're just going to be lost in the sauce. I think that we have talent that's going to be, and especially when you talk about guys like Luke Waffle coming in, Jamion Winfield, those guys that are coming in. And I think, as I stated with Boobie Feaster's dad, I think Everett Hill's one of those sleepers. But I think his son, a lot of people talked about us being lacking in receiver. And I'm going to get in this list in a minute, but a lot of people talked about us being kind of lacking at receiver, but I disagree. I think we got some guys. Of course, you're not going to start over Mekhi Lemon. You're not going to start over Jacoby Lane. You talk about the Bolitnikoff Award winner. You're talking about the best college football wide receiver in the country. So you see guys like Corey Sims on the side. You seen guys like Ramiro Eisen that a lot of people forget. They were on the side. So I think people are getting it twisted. Who is going to start over the Bolitnikoff Award winner or a guy like Jacoby Lane? It's absolutely ridiculous. So when you look at some of these guys that we got coming in, I think Tanook Hines, who I labeled as a super freshman, I think there's another guy, and I already said it, it's Boobie Feaster. Boobie Feaster and Trent Mosley, to me, are two guys that are going to be considered, and I'm putting them in the same class as a super freshman. I think those are two impact players, and I'm saying all that to say I think the structure and the strategy that we went after this number one class is absolutely going to manifest itself on the field. Now, everybody doesn't see it like this, but apparently CBS Sports. Now, let's go over this early top 25. You see Ohio State number 1, Texas number 2, Georgia 3, Oregon 4, Notre Dame 5, Texas A&M 6, 7 is Texas Tech, Indiana number 8, Michigan number 10. And then you see USC right there sitting at number 11. I agree with this, and I think we're gonna take a leap. I think guys like Devin Stevens, Jaden Walker, are going to take a leap with this next linebacker coach. And apparently, for those who didn't hear, apparently, and I don't think it's signed, sealed, and delivered yet. Apparently, Rob Ryan is going to go be an analyst. We'll see what happens with that and move over to the side. But this new linebacker coach, Mike Eckler, he has a nastiness about him. And I told you guys yesterday on my live that Deion Bailey, he mentioned something about Eckler when he was there in 2013, how he was a phenomenal coach for him. So I think that speaks volumes right now. And so you look at USC number 11, I'm with that. BYU 12, Miami 13, LSU is going to be 14, Bama 16, 15, Louisville 16, 17 is going to be Missouri, Utah 18, Washington 19, Ole Miss 20, Houston is 21, 22 is going to be Penn State, SMU 23, Virginia Tech 24, and then South Carolina 25. So look, man, I really believe that we're in some good shape right now. So look, you guys could drop the comments, man. I think we're gonna be okay. And even when you look at the Heisman odds, now I totally don't agree with this, because if you look at the Heisman odds, this is sponsored by FanDuel. You see here, you got man, I really can't even. They got the Notre Dame quarterback. Look where they got Jaden Mayava. I'm about to put this list away. And then you got a Dylan Raiola on there who's a backup quarterback. Am I supposed to take this serious? Look at this. John Mateer, Oklahoma, they got him ranked over Jaden Mayava. Are you kidding me? Look who they have ranked over in Indiana, Josh Hoover. Yeah, he was good at TCU, but come on, Jaden Mayava put up some numbers. And so look, they got the whole Arch Manning thing going on once again. Remember, he was a favorite last year? You know what? Let me put this list down. I'm not about to entertain that. I can't entertain that. I cannot entertain something that, when you lead the, even like I said, Louis Riddick said that Jaden Mayava, the fact that he had the number one QBR and he's returning back, I can't entertain that. I'm sorry. So look, man, you guys hit me in the comments. You guys tell me what you think. Happy Thursday to everybody, man. I'm out of here, man. Looks like the coaching staff is going to stay together. It's go time. It's on the popping. It's on the cracking. We're not going to keep our fingers crossed. We're going to pray. I don't believe in the superstitious stuff, but I'm going to pray that this staff stays together. So I'm out of here, man. Until later on, listen, everybody stay blessed, man. Fight on.